But nowadays, I get kind of really annoyed by the kids now.
Yeah.
These Gen Zs,
Okay, stop.
they have a serious issue.
Welcome to this favorite K-pop show, DK News. First off, we have Just B's BAIN coming out as gay on stage, a landmark LGBTQ plus moment in K-pop.
And second, we have Taeyeon fans pissed over Tokyo concert cancellation, and SM is under fire.
And third, we have key warning NCT Wish on air over broadcast behavior. Uh-oh. On to the first news. A rare moment in the K-pop industry this week happened. Just B member BAIN has publicly come out as gay, becoming the first Korean male idol in an active boy group to do so. A boy group, we have Holland, right? We've interviewed him before. He's doing great, but anyways, the announcement came during the group's Los Angeles concert on April 22nd, part of their ongoing Just Odd world tour. On stage, BAIN, real name Song Byung-hee, waved a rainbow flag and sang Lady Gaga's Born This Way before telling fans, "I'm proud to be part of the LGBTQ plus community." He also praised Gaga for helping him realize that being different is beautiful. Fellow group member Shiu expressed support shortly afterwards, writing in a fan message, "Byung-hee was amazing today. I watched from backstage with tears in my eyes." What a supportive group member. So BAIN now joins a small group of K-pop artists who have come out already, including Cat's Eye's Lara and former What's Up members Jie. And in the broader entertainment world in Korea, the actress Yoon Yo-jung also made headlines recently for revealing her son's same-sex marriage. Back in Korea, reaction to BAIN's announcement was actually mostly negative, no surprise, and homophobic, and many called it unnecessary or even noise marketing.
Noise mark.
Yeah, citing the group's low profile. So some also voiced concern that it could deepen existing stigmas around K-pop boy bands globally.
I saw those comments a lot, actually. Embarrassed.
Regardless, BAIN's decision has placed a new spotlight on LGBTQ plus visibility in K-pop. So what do you think about this?
Good for him, really. Be himself. I think we need more people like him to be very honest with themselves. The more gays we have that are out in the open, the more people will be used to this, and the more people will be just accepting and not really caring. Because I feel like since coming out is such like a rare event, events like these really, I think, help the mass public get exposure and become a little less sensitive. It must have been difficult, but good for him.
Good for him as well too. I feel like the international fans are all greeting him. There should be more diversity and confidence and honesty about yourself in K-pop. And I feel like the homophobic comments in the Korean comment sections, they've always been there, and Korea's in a transition phase. There have been rulings from the Supreme Court for a same-sex marriage couple. There are openly gay people like Hong Seok-cheon, beloved by the country as well. There are skits about like gay characters, like Yongwon Gay. He's like a very famous character nowadays. So I think it's pretty hypocritical to criticize an idol that just came out and he's trying to be honest to his
why
identity.
should they be criticized? They're not doing any harm to you or your kids. But I was actually kind of surprised during the past 10 years that we've been doing YouTube. Like almost a decade right now. And I think when we were starting YouTube and right now, like for me at least, I felt like we've progressed a lot in terms of acceptance. But like when I looked at the comments for this guy, I felt like we were in a time machine.
I think maybe there might have even been a regression in terms of like global.
Yeah, I think conservatism is actually
it's
now
like flip-flopping.
Maybe we're regressing.
Anyways, maybe this might like make a chain reaction in the K-pop industry. A lot of people know that there are some.
There's probably a lot of people that are gay.
There are a lot of people that belong in the LGBTQ plus community in the K-pop sphere. They're just like silent because maybe of the fear, or they feel like it's unnecessary or whatsoever. But
I mean, but to be honest, you can't even say you're dating in K-pop, so like, let alone come out of the closet. So like it's very difficult to share those kind of things.
But going back to the comments, the homophobic ones were always there, so let's just like not even care about them. But the ones that are saying that this is noise marketing, I feel like that would hurt the most for him, because those comments are assuming that he's using his sexual identity to boost or promote his group.
I mean, music is about expressing your true self. If
So
he's gay,
I
why
mean,
can't
like
he express
revealing,
himself?
revealing your sexual identity is not the same as having horns.
What?
Like in our after show, in our past after show, we covered a group that has horns.
Oh, yeah,
and that
yeah.
was great noise marketing. That was like a good
Yeah,
promotion.
yeah.
Like it was like a gimmick, but your sexual identity is not something like that. And these people
Yeah.
are claiming that he's using that as like, oh, this Nugu group's trying to get attention by saying they're gay. I feel like that's very hateful. That's very hurting. That's the worst comment ever. Just be yourself. Fighting.
Fighting.
And on to the next news.
Taeyeon fan outrage over Tokyo concert cancellation, and people are pissed. On April 24th, Taeyeon of Girls' Generation posted something on her Instagram that had a lot of fans talking, and not in a good way. She shared a formal statement from her own Global Fan Union, which is a group of fans that they gathered. It was basically a public call out of SM Entertainment, her own company, over the sudden cancellation of her Tokyo concert date. This wasn't just some very mild or disappointed type of post. This was actually almost like a legal letter kind of statement of the fans demanding SM to take action for the cancellation of their concerts. And the fans were extremely pissed at SM. So Taeyeon shared this on her Instagram by a post. To give you some context, Taeyeon was supposed to hold her concert in Tokyo on April 19th and 20th, but out of nowhere the shows were canceled just 2 days before it was supposed to take place. And SM put out a statement saying it was due to a logistics failure. Some of the equipment that were crucial for the stage did not arrive on time, and there were no ways to secure alternatives. Many fans had already flew in for the concert and booked hotels and took days off their work, but now they were stranded in Tokyo.
That sucks.
Now, the Global Fan Union clapped back with a list of very clear demands in a statement, including identify and discipline those responsible at SM Entertainment, public apology via Taeyeon's official channels, practical compensation plans for fans who suffer financial losses, transparency going forward, especially for the rest of her tour. And as I've mentioned, Taeyeon reposted this on her Instagram. Now, even more people are aware of it. This whole situation is dragging SM back into hot water, as actually this is not the first time fans are pissed. You know, and it's like a repeating history. At the same time, then we always think like, what fans are not pissed at their idols' companies? But they're calling it a pattern of neglect towards artist and fan experiences. Some are comparing it to past controversies involving poorly managed concerts from SM acts. A lot of like people that's outside of K-pop are also discussing this, especially like older people like us, thinking of it from the perspective of the employee as well. So some people are actually defending SM, saying, oh, like what can they do? There's a back and forth. But what do you think?
I don't think there's nothing that they can't do. As the union demanded, they deserve some kind of transparency. It's just not, you can't just brush this off as saying, oh, there were logistical errors. They have the right to know, like, what kind of logistical errors were there? What kind of equipment was omitted? Why did Taeyeon, like, blah, 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 the details, so that the person can actually, like, reasonably rationalize and go through what happened. Okay, so, that's fair. So at least give me my compensation with the refunds and blah, 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 blah. You're just leaving people in the dark. They use their precious time, money, and everything to come to that concert, and more than that, they missed their chance to see their favorite idol. I would have been pissed if I couldn't see Coldplay if they just suddenly canceled without any notice.
But what do you think about Taeyeon herself reposting? Because like I think a lot of the discussions about, I mean, I get that she's pissed, but at the end of the day, this is helping people egg on the company.
She's basically pissed too, and she's calling for action for the fans. She's very dissatisfied with the service and the company she's in. That's probably why all the Girls' Generation members are not there anymore, and maybe it's time for her to leave and say goodbye.
I understand this is a shitty situation for everybody, including SM. They're not the ones that's delivering, right? The delivery company is not them, right? Probably using some sort of service. Obviously, you would think that they would have the equipment ready days prior so that they wouldn't have problems with such delays.
Yeah, or have backup plans too.
Yes, but sometimes tours are not as profitable.
No.
Therefore, it's like running on a very tight budget. So sometimes, you know, things like that can happen. I know it's really, really terrible, but at the same time, like, I feel for the SM employees where there's probably somebody that's responsible for this shit.
Yeah,
and
and
that person's going like, oh my god, like, you know, I can't do anything.
Not even like the employee. In these kind of situations, it's SM Entertainment,
Right,
the
it's the company
whole,
itself,
like
right?
itself's fault. So
Yeah.
like someone higher up, the operations manager needs to come out with a official apology, with a compensation plan. I'm sure there are like clauses or
Right,
like,
right.
you know, terms and conditions.
But I feel like this kind of situation, there's so many parties involved. So first of all, SM is probably not in charge of the money. They have other people that are taking the tours, right?
Doesn't matter at the end
I
of
mean,
the day.
it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying, like, they're not the ones that are probably directly handling the money from the tickets. They gotta go to this company to say, oh, how do you wanna, like, refund this? They don't have it in their pockets, in their accounts, so they can't just go directly, like, saying, okay, we're gonna give you guys a refund.
Okay.
So there's, like, a lot of different, you know,
I get you're
hoops
trying
that
to
they gotta...
sympathize with the
No, I'm not trying to
inside kind
sympathize.
of-
I'm just keeping it real here.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of different hoops that they gotta
I'm
jump
just
through
keeping
before
it-
saying it.
I'm
saying
just
like,
keep-
oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'll give you your money back.
I'm just keeping it real too. Like,
I'm keeping it adult.
I'm keeping it adult too. Like for the fans and the artists, what matters is whether the concert happened or not. We don't give an F on
I
who
know,
did the
I
see,
know.
like who's giving
Yes.
like the money's
I
transferring
know.
or whatever. At least put out like a nice guideline of saying, okay, we have a plan intact. We're doing
we're
this.
trying this.
Yeah, we'll deliver
see
until this. At the
overtime.
end of the day, whoever the logistic flaw is at, like, you know, SM Entertainment is the representative of this whole thing, so
Yeah.
they need to take responsibility, and it's just
Yeah.
clear as that. So
I have a lot to say on the after show.
okay.
After show. On to the next news.
Now it's time to criticize the idols.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's about SM too. Because Key from SHINee warns NCT Wish on air over their broadcast behavior being inappropriate. So NCT Wish has come under fire for what many are calling poor attitude during a live radio broadcast. On April 22nd, the rookie boy group appeared on SBS Power FM's Kortu show alongside soloist Chu, who carried the segment with her usual energy and charm. But viewers quickly noticed a stark contrast in demeanor from NCT Wish. Throughout the show, members avoided eye contact. They gave short or don't be sarcastic.
How dare they?
Hear it out. So throughout the show, the members avoided eye contact, gave short or unclear answers, and showed little reaction even during interactive segments. The low energy did not go unnoticed as criticism poured in from real-time listeners with comments like, other rookie idols would kill for this airtime.
That's true.
There's no hunger, there's no effort, just coasting on the NCT name. Wow.
Kids these days.
Some question whether debuting under a major label had skipped the humility and grind usually expected of newcomers. One viewer, however, stood out from everybody, which was SHINee's Key. Oh, that's scary. As Humbe getting mad at you. And this,
Like, it's SHINee is
yeah,
like
yeah. He
way
used to
up there.
be
He's
like
the Lincoln. HOT is George Washington.
Okay, so Lincoln, SHINee's Key, sent a message as a fellow SM artist to MC Hanhae during the live show. So he texted him personally and said, say this to the NCT Wish kids, that I'm listening, do better.
Do better.
잘하라고. 내가 듣고 있으니까 잘하라고.
잘하자.
Oh yeah, that's the ultimate
Goosebumps. I was shit in my pants.
That's the passive aggressive version of
Yes.
like, if you don't do your shit right now.
Your mom, you know, sitting on the sofa.
That's the ultimatum
Yeah.
when you're in the military or a company.
Yeah, that's
you don't need to
scary.
say anything more.
Yeah.
Just like do better.
The shorter the sentences,
they're like-
the scarier.
잘하자. The rare public call out quickly went viral, prompting members Hakuya to respond, yes, we'll do our best.
Yes.
열심히 하겠습니다. However, not everyone rushed to criticize. Some defended the group, noting that they are only in their second year and that 4 of the 6 members are all Japanese. So probably they're still adjusting to Korean language media and cultural expectations.
And they're probably careful because of language barrier and cultural.
Yeah, they might have been intimidated on a radio show. Meanwhile, a separate incident involving idol etiquette also sparked discussion. In a recent viral video, the boys, Sonu, was seen dropping his AirPods.
Oh, I saw.
Yeah, which were picked up by a staff member shortly after, and Sonu received them with one hand and allegedly without expressing his thanks. He just shouted in the air like, "No pot." Anyways, the clip drew mixed reactions, and then afterwards, another Sonbe, after school's Nana, commented.
Long time no see.
She commented on that Instagram post with her official account
Damn.
saying he needs to be scolded.
Damn.
This sparked her own wave of backlash from the fans, some of whom began targeting her personal spaces online as well. And she later asked for it to stop. But anyways, my question is, do you think it's okay for senior idols to call out juniors like that in public? Are they setting standards, or are they just stirring up more fan drama?
No, it's just the older one telling the young ones, this is how it goes. Stay in your lane, basically. And I don't think we have to criticize the newer idols too much for their behavior. Like NCT Wish, for example. Like, that's not the attitude to have when you're on air, right? Like, that's your job, to entertain and to talk actively on a radio show. But they're kids. Maybe they were arrogant. Maybe they were shy. I don't know. But even if they are arrogant, of course, if you're like that young and you have that NCT name, then you would feel a little bit arrogant. But they will learn from this particular incident. So I think it's okay that someone calls them out, and I think it's okay that they make mistakes along the way.
And it was a very subtle nudge from Key, like 잘하자, do better. He wasn't even like calling them out.
It was on text,
on public. It was through Hane.
On the other hand, after school's Nana, she wants the beef.
So yeah, I think it's okay for the 선배s. They have legitimacy to call out their 후배s. Like, they're the ones that paved the way for their
And I'm sure their 선배s, when they were rookies, were much harsher on them than they are now. So kids have it easy.
We always say, oh, kids nowadays, they have it easy. But then the kids usually call us condes, and they're like, what right do you have?
So that's just the cycle of humanity.
Look, I'm not calling he a conde though. Like, I think he did what he did, and
but
it
like
was needed.
These days, I do feel like a conde because like, before I didn't care. But nowadays, I get kind of really annoyed by the kids nowadays. These Gen Zs.
Okay, stop.
Stop. They have a serious issue.
Okay, second question.
Okay.
What about idol manners? Do you think they've changed since the first and second gen days, or is everything just under a more microscopic lens now?
I definitely think they've changed. Like, the culture has changed because we're a little bit more loose and like lenient and self-expressive now than before. But I still think that the similar cultural boundary exists, but it's just a lot looser now.
I think they've loosened up, but then I think there is a valid point about being more scrutiny, because like there's social media. Nowadays, idols need to broadcast every single ounce of their life. Like back in the day, there was like just behind the veil, official events, things. But nowadays, in the vans, in the radio, the freaking radio is now visual radio.
They're human content.
Yeah, it's not even radio anymore. It's just TV.
They're just walking content.
Yeah, live streams, and then BB Go Live. What is it? V Live,
BB Go,
and Weverse, all that kind of stuff. So I do feel bad for them. Like, they don't have any privacy. So maybe they might have been tired at the moment. They wanted some break because it was radio.
It happens. But kids nowadays have it easy.
We get your point. More in the after show. So we're going to talk about GD and Hana's dating rumors in the after show.
Boy. And also we're going to review the Good Day song.
No, they just came out today.
Yeah, yesterday.
Oh, right.
And also we're going to give you a little update on Kim Soo-yeon. Haven't heard from him for a while.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the tour, Taeyeon tour.
Okay? He's very
invested.
Yeah,
very invested. And we'll see you guys on Patreon, patreon.com/DKDKTV. We have weekly shows there, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.